2016, I destroyed my credit. I destroyed my credit so bad I was in $60,000 in debt. So I was in $60,000 in debt. My credit was destroyed. I couldn't get a credit card. I couldn't get a loan. From 2016 to 2020, I had to live off of nothing but cash. No credit card, cash. So it was tough because if you're making like $2,000 a month and you could swipe, you could basically live like you live in off of $3,000 a month. So with me, it was no credit whatsoever. So I had to learn how to live off of just cash, had to increase my cash flow, I had to increase my income, and I had to sacrifice a couple of things that I didn't need. And then that increased my income by doing so. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I got out of $60,000 of debt, how I increased my cash flow, and how you could do the same damn thing. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Level Up Finance, where we talk about money, mindset, on the road to get millions. On this episode, I'm going to talk about how I got out of $60,000 worth of debt and how you could increase your income. One easy way to increase your income that I did was work overtime. If you have overtime available, work a little overtime. You know, if you could work on an off shift and get a differential, you know, if you go on second shift or third shift, you get a differential, you know, 12%, 20%, then you increase your income by 12%, 20%, depending on what the differential is on the off shift. You know, if there's a position open for a leadership role, like a lead, like a supervisor, or any other position that's open and you've been at your job for a while, don't be scared of more responsibilities or doing something new. Don't be planted like a tree, just staying in one spot and not doing nothing when you're trying to level up. This is Level Up Finance, man. You got to do something to get something, period. You know, so, you know, if it's a position open, do it. That's what I did. I became a lead. I worked a night shift to be a lead, getting 20%. So I was able to increase my income by 35%, 15% for being a lead, 20% for night shift, like that. And I was able to stay over an hour late if I wanted to, come in an hour early. So I was able to get like 10 hours of overtime if I wanted it. So I was able to increase my income drastically just because of that. So it's not no BS. This is real life stuff. You know, I was in $60,000 worth of debt. I needed to do something to get out of that, to increase my income, you know? So this is one thing you could do, and stop giving the government money, you know, free loans, you know, with your job or whatever. File for more dependents, so you're giving the government less money. Yes, you will get a smaller tax return or no tax return, but who cares? You want your money and you want it right now. You want it on a weekly basis. I didn't care about no tax return. I care about my money right now. So what I did was I filled out, you know, my paperwork a little different, and I claimed 2 more dependents. So basically my tax burden, well, the amount of taxes I was giving the government dropped, you know, by like close to $100. And since liabilities are the things that get us in trouble, we need to clip some of them things out of our lives. Like, say, a car. You know, don't get a car payment, because you're going to pay $400, $300, whatever, $500 for a car payment. You're going to have to pay insurance. You're going to have to put gas in the car. You're going to have to maintain the car. You could be in the car for like $1,000 per month. That's a big liability. That eats away at your overall income. So if you clip that out of your life, if you clip that expensive, you know, insurance, if you go from premium insurance or whatever, full coverage, to liability, or you don't have a car payment, you know, or you got a fuel efficient car, you basically gave yourself a raise. You went from $1,000 a month to like $300 a month. You gave yourself a giant raise. All right, you don't need to spend money on a freaking new TV every time it comes out. That's a liability. You stop doing that, you gave yourself a raise. You don't need to buy the latest and greatest iPhone when it comes out. You know, I still got the iPhone 8 Plus. I don't need no new phone. It does everything I needed to do. If you stop getting new phones all the time, you gave yourself a raise. You don't need to buy the latest gadgets that come out, you know, that you don't even use or need. You gave yourself a raise. Stop buying liabilities. Even some people are liabilities. You know, you clip some of those people out of your life, you're gonna have more money in your pocket. You gave yourself a raise. People could be liabilities, meaning like, hey, you got a friend that's always like this, you got a boyfriend that's always like this, you got a girlfriend like that's always like this, taking money from you all the time, needing money all the time, needing help all the time, breaking things, messing up your car. You gotta come out of pocket for them. They just always into mischiefs and you bonding them out of jail. They just always stressing you out. That's a liability. Get rid of that. And some other things that you could do to give yourself a raise. If you got a Netflix bill, a Hulu bill, a Disney Plus bill, a HBO bill, you could go half on these type of things with other people, you know, and or clip them out. If you don't even watch them, just cut it out, you know. So you could do that. If you got a cable bill, if you don't really, you know, need all those channels, clip them out. If you don't really use the internet like that, you don't need the best internet service. You could go to the mid-tier or low-tier internet service and save some money that way. Shop around for car insurance. You could get better car insurance. You basically giving yourself a raise, man. You know, you're saving money. Gym memberships. If you're not going to the gym, why are you paying for it? Clip it out. Subscription services that you don't use, clip them out. You don't even need to eat out a lot. You giving yourself a raise. You stop eating at all these different restaurants or eating out, pizza, blah, 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 every day. Just go with a home cooked meal. Clothes too. You don't need to go and buy $100 shirts. You don't need to buy $200 jeans. You don't need to buy, you know, pure fashion stuff, expensive stuff, you know, $50 hats, you know, $20 socks or whatever. You know, when I got myself in trouble, it's $60,000 of debt. I was buying all type of crap that I ain't need, you know, all these nice clothes and all these things. And looking back at it, that was a waste of money, you know? Like, I'm not Kanye West or Puff Daddy and all that. I'm a regular Joe Smo. I mean, I like to look nice, but every shirt I buy costs like $10 now, $10 to $20. Not because I'm El Cheapo or whatever. If I don't need it, I'm not gonna go crazy on it. I'm not gonna spend a crazy amount of money on something that's not that I could wash and then it be destroyed, or I'm eating a hot dog and some ketchup and mustard drop on it, then it's done. Our biggest bill is either rent or mortgage. So if we could eliminate that or drastically reduce that, you gave yourself a big giant raise. Me, I did a 2-family, 1 tenant, paid a whole mortgage. I lived for free, so I gave myself a big giant raise. That was great at the moment, you know. So if you could even get roommates for your rental, you know, that you in, you drastically reduce your burden of rent. You know, if you have a mortgage, you got a house with some extra bedrooms, and you don't mind living with other people, your relatives, whatever, you could drastically reduce your cost of living, you know. And this don't have to be forever. It could be for 1 year, 2 years, because this journey of getting out of that debt was a 2-year journey. When I finally started making some real money, it took like 2 years to clean that all up. It don't take that long when you're making real money. You don't take that long. If you're making real money, you could do that in a year. It's not a big deal. So if you could eliminate your housing costs, you're winning. You gave yourself a raise. Last but not least, start a business or a side hustle. My side hustle was photography and videography. I was doing events. I did a wedding, you know, I did a whole bunch of music videos. That's what I did for my side hustle in my business. So every year, yeah, I was getting better and better, and then the money was growing. You know what I'm saying? I was leveling up every single year. So that's one way I was making money too. So I was making money doing that. I was making money with my job. I was making money with real estate. I was paying no rent. So the money started accumulating a lot. Before I knew it, I was like, whoa. You know, in my bank account, I was like, yo, I could do some things, you know, and I was like, damn, I don't want to pay all this debt off, but I had to, you know. That's the only way I could see myself progressing even more. So I had to do what I had to do. I did everything I talked about in this video to increase my income. So my income definitely changed. So I went from $500 a week at my job to start making $1,200 a week. So that's $4,800 right there. At my rental property, I was probably, you know, getting about $1,600, something like that. And then I increased the rents, and I was able to get $1,800 per month from my first rental property when I moved out of. and the one that I end up getting and I lived in, rents were low, around $1,000 per unit. I fixed them up and got, all of them close to market rent. So now getting $1,300 per unit. And one unit I was end up getting $1,500 because I renovated it. So that's $4,100 right there. So that's over $10,000 right there. That's $10,700. That's $10,700 right there. But minus mortgage, which is $2,200 from the 4 family, and then the 4 family is a 3 bed, 1.5 bath each unit. So I was able to charge that. Okay, so minus $2,200 for the 4 family, minus $750 for the 2 family. That's still about $7,700. I was able to take home, so almost $10,000 per month take home. I gross over $10,000, but after I pay the mortgage and everything, I'm pocketing that. But that's from making $500 a week, and that's paying child support and everything. And I was living off about $1,000. I wasn't living off a lot, and that's not even being cheap. I mean, that $1,000 gave me more than I needed for everything I needed to get. And if some months I wanted to go over a little bit, so be it. And I always paid myself first. So when I got money, I gave myself, a budget, boom, right in my pocket. That's it. Before I paid anything else, I paid myself first. So that's basically how I increased my income. It didn't take a lot of time. It just basically execution and being disciplined. So anyways, if you learned a couple of things, this is real life too, man. This is real life for me. So I know this thing works. So if you learned something today, give me one of these. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'll catch you on the next one, all right? Level Up Finance.